all of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming at you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to Text. I couldn't remember it. Truth Talk to Text line,
sir.
You can always, I don't know how to brain fart. I'm in vacation mode already. Truth Talk to Text line. You can always call in and text in, but also you can watch and stream us live on the YouTubes by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all give us a subscribe, as we are now officially on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and a like as well. Thank you to Truth Nation, and shout out to you, Rhea Riley, for holding it down on the ones and the twos.
Thank you very much, sir.
And okay, all right. I see this is from Britain today. That's pretty weird, but what a day, what a day, what a day. I ain't gonna lie. I got in my car today, and this is a different day because I get to leave after this. I'm not doing my other show 2 to 5, so it's a little bit different. I'm gonna see what it feels like to do a show and be able to leave like some people. But I got outside to the car and it was freezing outside. I said, oh boy, it's cold today. And I think I done got a little bit of a cold, got the sniffles today. But anyways, Truth Nation, again, I want y'all to watch and stream us live on YouTube, but also I want y'all to call in and text in. And today's show, I'm off tomorrow. So with me being off tomorrow, I'm going to have a lot of Friday energy. And again, with me being off tomorrow, there's so much news and information that I want to fit into 1 hour of a show. So I want to ask y'all to bear with me with the information that I jam-pack into today's show. And thank you to my producer, Rhea Riley, for holding it down, because today's going to be a lot of visuals and listening as well. I got visuals for those on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, oh, you're going to be entertained today. And if you're driving in your car, listening to 1017 The Truth on your FM dial, oh, you are going to be entertained today. And if you have downloaded the 1017 The Truth app in your Apple Store or Android Store, Google Store, whatever it's called, Play Store, Google Play Store, you are going to get entertained today. Now, Truth Nation, here we go. I'm going to jump right into it. I want y'all to know the theme of today at the start of my show is, why are people who are working white class without a college degree so gullible and so dopey? Yes, that is the thesis of today's show. That's the theme of today's show. That's what we're going to address, and that's what we're going to answer. I repeat, we will answer and we will try to figure out, why are people who are working class whites without a college degree so gullible and dopey, and why do they consistently vote against their own best interests? See, that's something I have pondered for a while, because I'm a guy that likes to watch the news, and I love seeing polls and I love seeing stats on stuff because it really paints the picture of the mindset that people have, right? It paints the picture of the feelings people have, right? Where things are shifting, right? You know, what the public is thinking. I think it informs us on, you know, the direction this country is going. And so this is something that I always notice is that I feel like white working class individuals who do not have a college degree tend to always go against their best interests. And what they do, or I should say why they do this, is simply because of the fact of I always think they're trying to attach themselves to the wealthy whites. I think they follow behind the wealthy whites because it makes them feel like their existence matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I've never once said that. But I believe the way they attach themselves to these wealthy whites just shows that they're more interested in trying to get close to them than thinking about their own neighbors and their own selves and their own personal well-beings. Because one thing they have to understand is that these wealthy white folks don't give a dang about them. They don't invite them to their parties. They don't invite them to their country clubs. How many of these working class, non-college degree whites do you think get invited to Mar-a-Lago? None. How many do you think of these working class, non-college degree whites is getting invited to the North Shore Country Club, the Wisconsin Country Club? Do you think they're getting invited to these places? How many of them are getting invited to even go to their schools or be part of these organizations? It just ain't what they do. When we talk about segregation, there's segregation within the white community, and the ones who are being segregated against or the ones who aren't benefiting from it are still brown-nosing the rich folks that want nothing to do with them. And so when I say this, I'm not trying to sound offensive or be offensive. I'm just being honest. And I've come to this conclusion, especially after this huge news firestorm of a last week we have had, where much of the fallout has impacted the MAGA folks who are right now in a blender and don't know how to react to all this crazy news hitting them from the left, right, north, and south. Now, I was always told that lying is a sin and we shouldn't do it. So that's why I find it hard to believe that so many of these Bible-thumping, Trump conservative men and women would support and buy a Bible that's called the Trump Bible, a.k.a. God Bless the USA Bible, knowing that this man is dang near the common day Pinocchio. If there was a human being that could be Pinocchio, it would be Donald Trump, and his nose would be 20 feet long. Because all he does is tell a lot of lies. And today I will provide 3 examples on why I believe conservative whites without a college degree, conservative folks, blacks without a college degree, Latinos without a college degree, Republicans are slow-witted. So first I'm going to give Exhibit A. See, Exhibit A is this, Truth Nation. And again, I'm telling y'all, today is going to be a show. It's going to be a show. It's going to be a spectacle. The best show you've ever seen. Ain't that right, Rhea? Or listened to. And so Exhibit A is Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, who I believe also, aligned with Trump, I believe that he's too slow with cutting the rates, and I believe that it negatively has impacted our economy. That I can agree on. But finally, last year in 2024, just to give y'all a little history lesson on Jerome Powell, who is in the news now, in 2024, he finally said that he was going to cut interest rates because he saw that the market was stabilizing in the year of 2023, and he saw a continued trend in the right direction for America's economy in 2024, and this is why he decided to start cutting rates towards the end of last year, which was finally a positive thing for individuals who are looking to borrow. Now, then comes the buffoonist president who loves tariffs, which caused for the market to be unstable and volatile. So rates, the planned rate cuts got stopped, and now we're still paying a lot of money in order to borrow money. So obviously, this made Trumpito so mad, and he felt that he needed to lash out and complain. And he complained by blaming Joe Biden for nominating Jerome Powell to be the Fed chair. It's Biden's fault. It's Biden's fault. Now, this is where it gets interesting, Truth Nation. I just want y'all to lean in and listen. Turn your radios up. It gets interesting, Truth Nation, because Jerome Powell became the Fed chair in 2017. And if you know anything about the year of 2017, you would know that the president in 2017 wasn't Joe Biden. It was Donald Trump. But like many do say, don't let a good lie get in the way. Don't let a lie get in the way of a good story. This is a senile man who's in office complaining about Biden nominating Powell, matched up with the actual nomination of Powell in 2017. I want y'all to go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube if you want to watch, or turn your radios up and listen, because what you're going to listen to is Pinocchio Donald Trump himself telling lies again about how he was mad about who would nominate such an imbecile to run the Federal Reserve in Jerome Powell. Who did that? Who made that stupid decision? This is Pinocchio himself back in just yesterday, and then you'll hear Pinocchio himself and Donald Trump in 2017.
Terrible Fed chair. I was surprised he was appointed. I was surprised, frankly, that Biden put him in and extended him. It is my pleasure and my honor to announce my nomination of Jerome Powell to be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. Congratulations.
It is my pleasure to announce that the next Federal Reserve chair is going to be Jerome Powell. Donald Trump announced it in 2017, but then he is blaming Joe Biden for nominating him. So it's only one or two things. This is wild stuff. Like, I wish I could get away with lying and creating my own reality. Like, in what world is this possible? When I saw this video, I just couldn't believe this. And folks would just sit here and say, well, you know, it is what it is. I wish, like, I don't know about you, Rhea, like, I don't like lying, but I wish I could just create my own reality and then folks just believe it.
Well, you're a black man, so that'll never happen.
That is factual. Very, very factual. But it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me how you legitimately said, who nominated this guy? So this is the question. Listen, Joe Biden, he lost a step. We all saw it. Donald Trump has lost a step in front of our faces and ain't nobody saying nothing. This man said, who nominated him? Who did it? Who did it? Oh, it was me? Like, y'all, we need to check on that man. We need to check on him because he's getting off his rocker. Now, that was the first example, again, that I wanted to give about these folks just voting for anything. Now, Exhibit B is watching this administration absolutely fumble the Epstein files. Now, this has been a complete and utter failure. This should have been a layup. It's easy. All it is release the files. That's all it is. The administration campaigned on releasing the files. They went from screaming to release the files from the highest levels of the administration before they got elected. So, we're going to release this. Y'all just wait. If I get in power, just wait. Y'all going to see all these pervs. Who are they protecting? But then all of a sudden, this past week, Donald Trump said, what files? What? Just let it go. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, because, again, this ain't just me talking. I believe we should release the files. Release the files years ago. Release the files. But I ain't the only one that thinks they should release the files. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube to watch, or, again, turn your radio up.
That my father could be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light. I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right?
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go, ever. Ever.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. You had Donald Trump Jr.'s son saying, release the list. You had the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, saying they don't want to release the list because they're afraid who is on that list. If I get in, they're going to release the list. You have J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States, saying, yeah, they need to release that list. You have the assistant director of the FBI saying, we need to release that list. You have the attorney general, Pam Bondi, of the United States of America saying, hey, it's on my desk. And nothing came of it. They fumbled, y'all. This has been a complete disaster, and I literally have enjoyed MAGA not knowing what to say. They went from hating Epstein to being okay with pedophilia. It is wild and been very entertaining, but at the end of the day, it's gross. But to me, this is the purest example of white conservatives without a college degree being some of the worst voters out there. And I say people as well. And I said that. I'm judging the book by its cover because the things that they do are disgraceful. And yeah, I had fun talking about it during this first segment, but what we have to understand is that when you vote, there's consequences to your vote. And yes, what happened with Jeffrey Epstein and his list not being released, that's out of curiosity. We want to know. We want transparency. But at the end of the day, the case is closed. And whether Trump is on it or not, they ain't going to impeach the man. They don't care. He had a relationship with him. He went to Mar-a-Lago all the time. He brought young girls to Mar-a-Lago all the time. It is what it is. Disgusting, but that's the facts. When it comes to the Federal Reserve stuff, it's crazy, right? He just makes stuff up. But we have to understand that you can't lie and cheat your way in running a country. And when you lie and cheat your way in running a country, or you make decisions based off politics and not off saving lives, this is how you end up with the tragedy that we had in Texas just a couple weeks ago. There was a flood in Texas. We talked about it, which claimed the lives of 134 people, and the search still continues for others who are missing. Y'all, there were children who died that day. There were families that sent their kid to a camp that never came home. This is a tragic, sad story. But what makes it worse is that no one is taking accountability. And the saddest part of this story, which I will share on the other side, is that these dumb, no-good politicians in Texas committed a cardinal sin of allowing their political views and their beliefs to come before the best interests of the citizens. And now we have a loss of life because of their political views. Truth Nation, I'm going to take this call. Rhea, really quickly, just let me know. What is this call for? We're going to get to this call on the other side. But what I want y'all to understand is, on the other side, I'm going to tell y'all the sad truth behind what played a real role in the deaths of hundreds of men, women, and children in the tragedy that occurred with the Kerr County floods during the 4th of July holiday a couple weeks ago, and why white people voting against their own best interests indeed did cause the loss of life. 833-212-1017. On the other side, I'm going to eviscerate and I'm going to expose the fact that these white, non-college degree, working class individuals continue to vote against their own best interests. And in the case of Kerr County and the floods that happened 2 weeks ago, it cost children's lives. 833-212-1017. I'll get to Sherman on the other side. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts. You can always watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. But on the other side, I got to break this down, and I'm going to expose the nonsense that happened in Kerr County all over politics instead of choosing saving lives.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance, and you can weather any storm. You'll save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned as operating companies American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Truth Nation, you already know I got to put you on the latest hookup at Nick Avani's, and this one is big. All month long during July, Nick Avani's is running their buy one, get one for a penny sale. That's right. Grab one item and get another one for just 1 cent. We're talking top-tier fashion like suits, shirts, ties, shoes, and more that will have you stepping out looking sharp and turning heads. Some exclusions may apply, but the deal is real and only happening for the month of July. So don't wait and pull up to Nick Avani's on the 2nd floor of Mayfair Mall and level up your wardrobe while this deal lasts.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center in Brookfield lets you see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines side by side. A friendly expert can go over Pella's endless possibilities for all price ranges, from colors to hardware to custom designs, ensuring you get the best possible look for your home. Pella truly believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be expensive. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the U.S., you get the look you want at a price you can afford. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. It's off Blue Mound Road, kitty corner to Cops, or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
This is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube at 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, as well as we are on our road to 5,000 subscribers. On the other side, I talked about a lot of different things to set up the fact that I wanted to talk about the fact that it just blows my mind how so many non-college degree white folks vote against their best interests only to attach themselves to those who have in the white community. And it doesn't do their communities any good. And I just did not understand it. But during that conversation, I did bring up the fact that the Trump administration and the Epstein List and how they lie, and how these rich folks really don't give a dang about people. And Sherman said he wanted to comment on the Epstein List. So come on, Sherman.
Hey, how you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing great, brother.
Hey, I was calling because did you hear when Donald Trump said that he blamed DEI on the flood, and then for this he said that Joe Biden and Barack Obama who made up the list.
Yep.
The bigger question is for those blacks that voted for him. What do they have to say about that? What excuse could they possibly come up with that DEI caused the flood?
It's easy to blame people of color.
Yeah. And I just want to know what the people of color who voted for him, what they have to say. What excuse could they possibly come up with, since they were so amped up on what's the dude name, Hunter Biden, getting $4 million or whatever money he got from, I don't know whatever it is, that's the money from.
Burisma, yeah. Burisma is more important than Donald Trump allowed for Jeffrey Epstein. He was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and the reason why they had a falling out was because they had a deal in like 2004, I think, that fell through. But yeah, they were very tight in the 90s and the early 2000s. Very, very tight. Very, very tight. But Sherman, just understand, I get where you're getting at, but understand these folks, they play for a team, and they don't care what the team is. It's like the Green Bay Packers. Regardless of what the Green Bay Packers do, I'm always going to be a Packers fan. I'm blinded. I have my green and gold goggles on. They got their Trump MAGA goggles on. They don't care what he does, because they hold him to a different standard than they hold their own brother.
The difference between the Green Bay Packers and this is the Green Bay Packers not going to affect your life unless you put a bet on it.
Well, these folks don't care.
Donald Trump will affect your life for a long time. Not only your life, your kids' life, and the future of other people.
I agree, Sherman. I agree. It's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Brother, I appreciate you calling in and sharing that. I'm right there with him. I don't know. I can't speak to it. Cannot speak to it. But Truth Nation, again, I want to get into what happened with these floods and exposing the fact that this was actually avoidable. Not the flood completely, but the catastrophic damage and the loss of life was avoidable. Now, this is something that I have to ask as well is, Truth Nation, how can we care more about people than they care about themselves? And again, this came to my mind as I was reviewing and looking in and, getting more information about what happened with this flood in Kerr County. And it came to my mind, I look at the fallout and what happened around July 4th and the devastating tragedy that I believe was completely avoidable. And when I say avoidable, the floods, you were going to have some flooding, right? So that part, you can't control natural disasters, but you can better prepare for the natural disasters. You can have better infrastructure. You can have better alert systems. You can upgrade systems in order to save lives. So could they have stopped the natural disaster from happening? Absolutely not. They weren't going to stop the rain, but they could have put things in place to slow the rain down, not slow the rain down, but saves lives with the flooding system infrastructure they have to avoid as much flooding as possible so it doesn't rise to significant levels. But then in addition to that, the death toll, which we are seeing, was 100% avoidable. 134 deaths could have been avoided if they would have put the right systems in place. And this is not politics. This is just the truth. Kerr County is home to one of the highest flood-prone regions in the entire state of Texas. So they know that the danger their community is in and that they face when it comes to potential flooding. And because I love numbers, as I said before, and I love to be factual, around 2016 and 2017, officials of Kerr County has sent off an application to try to get funds of $731,000 in grants from FEMA to help raise money to upgrade their flood warning system in Kerr County, which included 10 high water detection systems without flashers, 20 gauges, and possible outdoor sirens, and much more. So in 2016, 2017, okay, remember that date? That was almost a decade ago. They understood that they had an issue. They understood that the community was at risk. And they also understood the fact that there was this camp that was along the Guadalupe River as well, where they were in a flood zone where those kids were at risk. So they understood that their community was at risk. So they decided, you know what, let's try to ask the federal government to give us some funds to be able to get a flood warning system upgrade, right? To be able to better be prepared and keep people safe. That's what they requested. They were denied by the state of Texas. I believe Governor Greg Abbott was the governor at that time, who's still the governor, who was rolling his ass around there in the wheelchair talking about this is a tragedy, even though he denied the money for them folks. Hot Wheels, that's what he called, right? Hot Wheels. So they know they needed an upgrade to the system, but they didn't have the money to do it, Truth Nation. They did not have the funds. But those in power in Kerr County, a.k.a. Trump country, where they overwhelmingly vote for Trump, who were turned down by Republicans in their own state to try to get FEMA money to try to save lives, received the lifeline. They got a glimmer of hope from a hero that they didn't expect in Joe Biden. Yet Joe Biden decided to step in 2021 to provide $10.2 million in ARPA funds to Kerr County, which could be used for many different aspects. It just didn't need to be used for flooding, but it could be used to upgrade their flood warning system, which would save lives. The Biden administration gave them a lifeline. And instead of being grateful and excited about the fact that they were getting grant money to fix the system that they did not have to pay back, $10.2 million that the Biden administration recommended, they outlined different aspects where this money can go. The money wasn't offered just for $10.2 million to fix the flood system. It was offered to fix multiple things, hire people. It was offered to fix their alert system. It was offered to make for better infrastructure. The things that they asked for in 2016, 2017, that Greg Abbott and his administration denied to Kerr County back in the day, the Biden administration 4 or 5 years later said, here's $10.2 million that y'all can use to upgrade that alert system and save lives. Now, a normal person would be grateful and excited of the fact that you got this money. We got a lot of money here in Wisconsin, and specifically here in Milwaukee, that we put to good use. But when you come from Trump country and you are dumb and gullible, like a lot of these voters are, your response ends up sounding a little bit like this. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube or turn your radio up so you can hear the response to being offered $10.2 million in free money for Kerr County that could go towards many different things, including upgrading your alert system that you 4 to 5 years prior asked the federal government for money and were denied. This is their response to getting money from the Biden administration.
Not want more of Biden's mandates attached to keeping Biden's money.
But these people are communists. They hate America. They're teaching it in our schools. They're invading the border as we speak. I don't think we should take any money from the federal government because they can't be trusted.
Now, we don't need these funds here. We've done just fine. And we'll get by without them. But you spend this money, you're signing a contract with the devil, and the devil's in the White House.
If you vote to keep Biden's money, I will hold you personally responsible and personally liable.
The Biden regime has proven to be tyrannical and anti-American. There is no part of this administration that has the good of America or Americans at heart. We want no part in anything coming down from the federal government. This is Texas, and Texans can take care of Texas.
And I don't believe we should take the money. We should not have it. I don't trust our federal government. I don't think that they're truthful with us. And in these days and these times or whatever, we can't afford to make a mistake like this.
Personally responsible if we accept $10.2 million from the Biden administration. You will be, that's what this woman said. We don't think we should be taking this money. These people are displaying stupidity at its finest. These folks were begging the federal government, yes, the federal government, just a couple years ago for money to help upgrade their system to save lives. But because of the administration change, and they actually were granted the money and then some of what they originally asked for, they debated whether or not to accept $10.2 million in grant money. Let that sink in. These folks would rather have people die. These folks would rather sit here and watch people struggle, watch families agonize, than to accept money from the evil Biden administration. That is crazy to me. And so when I hear all that, that's why I asked that question before. How am I supposed to care more about the well-being of people when they don't give a damn about themselves? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? I was just with somebody yesterday, and they're, and we were talking about the Trump administration. And we were talking about the fact that, as we're getting older and people are thinking about families, they're talking about, well, I don't want Trump's $1,000 for the baby. Oh, he give me $1,000. I said, I'll take that $1,000. I don't know what we're talking about. I may not like Donald Trump, and I may not agree with all his policies, but as somebody who in the next 4 to 5 years plans to start a family, I'm happy. I'm appreciative of the $1,000 that I potentially would get from this administration. So for me, I'm I'm not going to sit here and play dumb and be like, oh, well, because I don't like this person, I'm going to go to. No, that's stupidity at its finest. $10.2 million is sitting there for you to be able to take to literally save lives, upgrade the alert system, give you money to upgrade the system and then some, and you debated whether or not you wanted to take it. Now, this is where the story gets worse. 42% of respondents to a survey that was sent out to some folks in the community about whether or not they wanted to take the money or not, 42% of the people said they wanted to reject the money simply on political grounds. So again, Truth Nation, when you look at the tragedy that happened, that is sad and it is terrible. I want to let y'all know that natural disasters are not avoidable. But those who strategically plan for the worst and understand that natural disasters put lives at risk, that you can actually save lives when you plan ahead. And the folks down in Kerr County understood the danger that the community was in. And we know that to be true because in 2016, 2017, they asked for money. And they were rejected money from the state of Texas, which is a Republican state. Greg Abbott rejected money to them. And they had a lifeline of $10.2 million, and they debated whether or not to take it. Now, this is where the story gets worse. Eventually, they came to their senses and took the $10.2 million. Fantastic, good, but wait. So then what did they do with the money? Well, they decided instead of using the money to upgrade their system for the flood system to their outdated flood system, they decided to use the money for sheriff's department communications, which they said it helps with alerts. But instead of better infrastructure, instead of a better alert system with sirens, instead of the things that they wanted years ago that the community didn't want to invest in to help save lives, instead of putting that money towards that the Biden administration outlined that they can use it for, they used it for something else. And again, they chose not to give a dang about people. And now we have the end result today. So again, this always leads me to my question, Truth Nation. Are we supposed to care more about the well-being of these folks when they don't care about the well-being of themselves? I believe this was an awful, awful disaster. And to me, it's unfathomable that many folks in that community did this to themselves. This tragedy included children who tragically lost their lives. And this is a prime example of people who vote against their own best interests, that speak out against their own best interests simply because of politics. They have a mental illness. In our community, we say, they special. Something wrong with him. He a little special. That's what these folks are. 833-212-1017. These folks down in Kerr County, Texas, they FAFO'd. Y'all know what that is. And it cost the lives of many people. And it's a shame. Do you feel for these politicians? Do you feel bad for these politicians who are now acting as if it was nothing they could do? It was a 100-year flood. We had nothing where we could. I just can't believe that this happened. Even though this happened in '87, I can't believe this actually happened. Do you feel bad for them? I feel bad for the families, but do you feel bad for these folks who are now having to answer questions and backtrack and backpedal and answer why they did not invest the money in the things that could save lives? 833-212-1017. And I also want to know, why do so many white folks without a college degree vote against their best interests? Why do they do that? It makes no sense to me. 833-212-1017. I want to hear from you. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts. I see y'all going crazy on YouTube. I'll read some of those comments on YouTube. But on the other side, we definitely got to explain, why do these people vote against their own best interests? This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Need health care but don't have insurance? City on the Hills Health Clinic offers free medical care, mental health counseling, and dental hygiene services for uninsured and underinsured Milwaukee residents. They're on a mission to end generational poverty in all its forms, and you can be a beneficiary of it. If you've got a heart for Milwaukee and qualify as a Milwaukee resident, take advantage of City on the Hills Health Clinic today. Just visit cityonthehillmke.org. That's cityonthehillmke.org. City on the Hill. Hope, healing, and health for our city. Visit City on the Hill today.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
What was the life change? You know, we all know it happened, and we know things happen, and you have bad kidneys, but what was the life change afterwards?
A couple things. Before they even allow you to get on the list, they make you go through a battery of tests. And, you know, a lot of people don't qualify because they're overweight, or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So all those things are requirements before you can even get approved to be on the list. So I had...
Wait, you got to be approved to be on the list?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's interesting. There's a professional athlete or former professional athlete I know right now that has kidney disease, and he's on dialysis, and he wants to get on the list, and he's not accepting all the things you have to do, you know, to get on the list. But yeah, so for me, I spent 30 years in the automobile industry. You know, that's 12, 14-hour days, eating whatever somebody brings you to eat, whatever you run out and grab, McDonald's, whatever. It was never salads and, you know.
Yeah, but that was a choice, right?
It was a choice. Yeah. But I had to change all of that to even qualify to be on the list. I had to get down to the weight I had to be at. I had to get my phosphorus under control, my potassium under control.
Wait a minute, even though somebody said they would give you a kidney,
absolutely,
you had to still make yourself eligible?
Absolutely.
Nah, that's okay.
When I mentioned the athlete, his relative actually died, and they wanted to take his organs, and they couldn't because he wasn't qualified. He wasn't on the list. Wow. Yeah, you have to be.
So there are over 100,000 people on that waiting list. So they are very serious.
And how many donors do we have?
And that's the problem. We don't have nearly enough donors.
Wow.
And that's why it's such a critical need. But they are serious about who they're giving that gift of life to, because there are so many people who are literally dying waiting for it.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. Last day off for the Milwaukee Brewers as they'll begin the second half of the season in L.A. on Friday evening. Manager Pat Murphy discussing the message that he sent his team before they headed out for their All-Star break.
Yeah, I think it's just to be mindful of where we're at and what do you really want. And do you understand, based on your limited experience, a lot of these guys are in their first year, some in their second. Do you understand what it takes?
Brewers and the Dodgers will begin a 3-game series on Friday. Over to the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks fell in Summer League, this time to the Chicago Bulls by a final score of 102-96. The loss drops the Bucks to an overall record of 1-3. Chris Livingston led the way in scoring with 23. And speaking of Livingston, the Bucks and Livingston in an agreement on a fully guaranteed one-year deal worth up to $2.3 million. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Calling all Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We have teamed up with the Associated Bank for our Black-owned business give back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. To sign up for your business spotlight interviews, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member FDIC. And I love doing those interviews because I have a chance to talk to different black business owners. And today, the story that was told today was phenomenal. It was a woman who was a model, and she had cancer, and she lost her career. She was homeless. She couldn't afford all the cancer treatment, so she didn't have a career. And after having cancer and fighting back, she ended up becoming a model again, despite all the odds, and decided that she wanted to be, encouraging to others who were going through cancer, who were models, and started an organization to help other people who are models and have cancer, to let them know that they are still beautiful, regardless of their size, their shape, or whatever they're going through. It was a beautiful, beautiful story, and I cannot wait for you all to be able to hear the story about this organization. So make sure if you have an organization, a story you want to tell, a business you have, make sure you visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. We are live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. I'm your host, Kyle Wallace, and today I just was pondering the question about why do white working class folks without college degrees, why do they vote against their best interests in droves? Why do they want to be so attached to a group of individuals or people who want nothing to do with them? I mean, nothing to do with them. It doesn't make sense to me. And this attachment, this desire that's been ingrained in their mind, talked about indoctrination. They've been indoctrinated to think that they should vote a certain way because it's going to be in their best interest, when in reality, when you look at it, when you talk about a lot of these cuts that you're seeing from the federal government, yes, here in the black community, we may complain about it in blue areas, but understand that a lot of these cuts are impacting rural areas. When you see the cuts to rural areas when it comes to farming and some of the aid that was cut off from farming, or the farms that had contracts with the government to be able to produce things that got sent off to other countries. We have seen the most farms file bankruptcy in this year than what we've seen in years. There's already more farms in the first 6 months of this year that have filed bankruptcy in 2025 than filed all in 2024. But many of those farmers voted for these policies that negatively are impacting them. Now, 833-212-1017, that is the Truth Talking text line. We have some text here on the Truth Talking text line where Al said, Kyle, so you never refused money because you didn't like the terms attached to it. See, Al, this is where you're wrong. It had nothing to do with the terms. They accepted the money. They just complained about it because who was giving them the money? Beggars can't be choosers. And they had an opportunity to get the money, and just because of who was giving it to them, they wanted to put up a fuss. And I think that's stupid. Also on the Truth Talking text line at 833-212-1017, Millicent said, because they hate us more than they love themselves. And that is what I believe to be 100% true for some of these folks, is that they hate us and people of color much more than they actually love themselves, which is so, so unfortunate. But again, we're having this conversation talking about the floods that happened a couple weeks ago that were, again, the rain was unavoidable. But what happened after that and the devastation that we saw, the death tolls that we saw, that was unavoidable. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up and give us a like as well. And Ma the Elephant said, Kyle, stupid is as stupid does. Uh-oh. And sorry, y'all. That's why I'll be struggling on YouTube. I'll be trying to get y'all to YouTube, but trying to read the YouTubes and the chat be moving. I'll be losing the place here. Kyle, stupid is as stupid does. Understand that education is costly. So is ignorance. So ignorance, especially when we're at war. So I hear you on that one. And then also somebody said, Curly Q said, Kyle, you didn't need to say special like that. Well, hell, they special. Them folks, there's something wrong with them. And if it wasn't politically incorrect and I might get suspended for saying something else, I say something else. What they used to say back in the 90s and 80s and 50s when it was the term. Something wrong with these folks. They're mentally ill. No, Rhea, I ain't saying that. But again, when it comes to this story and it comes to the impact, I think we have to understand is that these folks wanted to turn down this money, but they didn't. They took the money, but then they didn't put the money in the place that it should have been placed. In 2016, 2017, they asked the federal government for money. And a lot of these folks said, we don't need the federal government for anything. We don't want the feds to give us anything. But 10 years prior almost, they asked the federal government for money. So again, it's not about the federal government. It's about politics. You shouldn't care about who is in office to take money. Here in the city of Milwaukee, we just recently got a grant to upgrade our bus line. And that's from the Trump administration. And I don't see David Crowley saying, well, I don't want to touch that Trump money. No, David Crowley is accepting the money with open arms because he understands the positive impact it's going to have on the state. We had the Republican National Convention come here, or committee, hold their convention right here in the city of Milwaukee. And some of y'all pushed back and said y'all didn't want the money. But shout out to Mayor Cavalier Johnson, even though the impact wasn't what we expected it to be. Cavalier Johnson said, no, we're going to take that money and we're going to take that positive economic impact that can come with that. Because you don't play politics when it comes to benefiting your people. And far too often, some of these poor white folks who are non-college degree individuals vote against their own interests. They asked for money years ago, and when the government gave it to them, they said, we don't want it. And when they took the money, instead of investing the money into a infrastructure to save lives when it came to the flood warning system, the thing that they asked for, they put the money in a different place to upgrade the sheriff alert system, communication system, which I'm not saying that that wasn't important. But what I'm saying, it was not as high of a priority, and now folks in Kerr County have to answer questions to the residents on why they decided to misuse those funds or put the funds towards something that wasn't a high priority. If they would have used the funds that were given to them by the Biden administration that they begged and pleaded for and they asked for, if they would have used those funds to upgrade the warning system and alert system that they asked to upgrade years ago, they could have prevented the devastating death toll that we saw. Point blank, period. Blood is on the hands of the Republicans down in Kerr County, Texas. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around that. Children died because of the poor decision-making that they had. Children died because of the politics that they wanted to play. That is the fact of the matter. They failed the community. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. When we come back on the other side, I'll wrap up the show with my final thoughts of the day, but keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
This is 1017 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk. Truth Nation, you already know I got to put you on the latest hookup at Nick Avani's, and this one is big. All month long during July, Nick Avani's is running their buy one, get one for a penny sale. That's right, grab one item and get another one for just 1 cent. We're talking top-tier fashion like suits, shirts, ties, shoes, and more that will have you stepping out looking sharp and turning heads. Some exclusions may apply, but the deal is real and only happening for the month of July. So don't wait and pull up to Nick Avani's on the 2nd floor of Mayfair Mall and level up your wardrobe while this deal lasts.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play. We help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
One, two, three, ho!
One call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, do not hesitate to make one call, that's all. And Gruber Law Offices will take care of the rest. Listen, if somebody swipes you, hit you from the back, or your loved one gets in an accident, make one call, that's all. Because the Gruber, they focus on the healing process for you so they can focus on the legal aspect. And the great thing about making one call, that's all, you don't have to worry about paying anything. You focus on getting right, and they focus on winning your case. And they never make you pay a single penny. You pay nothing out of pocket until they win your case. So get with the leading law firm today by getting with Gruber Law Offices by visiting them at gruber-law.com. That is gruber-law.com, or calling them at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. It's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Really quick breaking news. The Justice Department has asked for a one-day sentence for the ex-officer convicted in the killing of Breonna Taylor. The move is a stunning reversal of the Biden-era efforts to address racial disparities in law enforcement. Brett Hankison had discharged several shots through Taylor's window during a drug raid that went awry. So that is breaking news. The individual will only receive, the Justice Department is recommending a one-day sentence. And again, y'all want justice, we cry for justice, we want all this and that. And I just keep trying to tell y'all, these Republicans don't care about black folks. They really don't. They just want y'all to, vote for them to get them elected, and they give you crumbs. Democrats ain't they a little better, but they ain't the best. But boy, oh boy, at least they try to do something. This has been Truth to Power right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank y'all so much for listening. Bailey Coleman will be filling in for me tomorrow. I will see y'all next week. The Tory Lowe Show is up next with Dame LZ and the legendary Homework Blow. But peace out. I'll see y'all next week. Be blessed and have a safe weekend.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to say. Truth Nation, I'm proud to present the 8 Block, powered by City on the Hill and 1017 The Truth, hosted by me, your boy, Ben Jammin. Every other Saturday at 9 a.m., 8 Milwaukee teams will share stories and laughs that will speak truth to what matters most in their lives.
I'm here to discover different levels about myself.
I'm really here to get my name out there and have a different perspective on life.
So tap in every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Truth Nation, welcome to the 8 Block.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments.